Hello, and welcome to Blades and Banners, a Tales in the Valiant actual play set in the Eberron campaign world. Previously on Blades and Banners, the crew of the Traveler's Gift departed from the island of 7th, home base of the Coral Fang Principality, and made their way across the straits to Nine Bay to the harbor of Vale to investigate a shipment coming from their rival principality, the Riptide Principality. The crew divided up, with Sahaina, Oren, and Eliwise heading into the Hanged Man, a local pub, to spy on the garishly liveried agents of the Riptide Principality, and learn that they were anticipating a contact to find them. Finian remained outside and went over to the ship Whisper, try and investigate there, where the watchman on the deck let slip that some cargo was to be offloaded here on Vale, while the rest was bound elsewhere. And so, as the party reconvene in the Hanged Man, we resume.
Finian re-enters, ducking under the Hanged Man who is greeting everyone on their way in.
Pardon me.
Right. And walks over to the table. Hoi.
Hi.
How was your journey around the docks?
It's all right. They're unloading some of it here, but this is not their stop. They're taking what I believe seems as though a majority of whatever's on board to another location. That's best I've got. There's very few people on the ship as far as I can tell, so. And you, anything?
They're gonna meet a dwarf.
Meet a
It will
dwarf.
approach them, apparently.
Yes, they're waiting for a contact.
Do you guys have the ability to alter our forms or shapes in any way?
I can change
I can be
clothes
a
is the best
snake.
I've got. Oh, what now?
A snake. Whoa. It's pretty cool.
Did
Is that what you meant?
Oh. I would specifically a dwarf, since they're expecting a dwarf, is what I was kind of getting at.
Right. It is what he asked though, lass. So you're not wrong in answering that.
I can do this thing where I disguise myself. Would that work?
Are we saying a magical disguise or a practical disguise? Because while I'm sure your makeup and prosthetic skills are good, perhaps not that good.
No. Well, I can do both. And honestly, you haven't seen my practical skills yet. They're really awesome. But no, magical.
Okay.
Mia pausing for a second. That is what disguise self is, right?
It is. I want to see whether there are limitations to how much you can change your physical shape, because you're a 7 foot tall
Right.
gnoll, and I wonder if you can make yourself look like a dwarf. You can only seem 1 foot shorter or taller than you are.
That's a very tall dwarf.
Yes. So you could get yourself down to 6 feet with disguise self.
Yeah, so I can, again, my practical skills, you guys will see it soon. They're really good. With the magical stuff, I can't get quite as small as a dwarf. I can't. I'm too big. So I guess not.
Well,
Never mind.
I mean, we don't know what the dwarf wants, right? What would we say if we approached them as the person they're meeting?
Hello?
To follow
Oh,
them, and
yeah,
we
that's a
could get
good
them
opener.
isolated, where we could jump them and gain more information that way.
Oh, you're straight to fighting these fellas, are you?
Hey, no bad ideas in brainstorming.
I didn't say I was
That's
opposed
good
to
to
it.
know.
I just I didn't realize we were going straight to fighting things here.
We could also
could do that
follow
right
them,
now.
and then when they meet a dwarf, we will know that they're meeting a contact for the delivery.
Oh, are there no other dwarves in the area?
Oh, I don't know this area well. I guess we
Oh.
could follow everyone they meet and talk to along the way.
Yeah, or seek out a bunch of dwarves, maybe, right? Because no
Can
bad
I-
ideas, right?
Could I have an ale, please?
That is what
An
Orin
ale
said.
over here, please.
Oh, also, Finian, this is a really
skeleton
great
brings
pub.
you an ale on the on. Oh yes, Finian, make a wisdom saving throw.
Great. 15.
Okay. Yeah. That it's weird that Sohina said that because that thought had just crossed your mind.
That's good to know.
But a skeleton bearing a tray with an ale on it brings one over to the table to you.
Cheers. I appreciate you. I don't love this bar, if I'm honest.
Really?
Oh.
Yeah. It's got a good feel to it, but there's just something about it. I'm not much for skeletons.
Oh.
I mean, fair enough.
Right, so, do we have a time frame of when they're meeting, or are these the blokes that are meeting?
These three
So-
seem woefully ignorant.
It's about this point that any of you with a passive perception above a 12 notice a dwarf approach the table with the trio of Riptide sailors.
We did very well in following them there.
Orin gestures to Sahina and Eliwise to do the thing that they did that got us all this information.
The
the
trio
first place.
stand and follow the dwarf down a different passage, seemingly further into the bar.
We go after them, right? We follow?
Did they just go down a hallway to like? Or
Seem
was
to.
there a door?
How far
Yeah, they
would you
just go
say
down
they
the
are
hallway.
from us?
I don't.
Well, they've
think
gone
all
down a
four of
hallway
us-
out of sight, so the hallway is about 20 feet away from you.
Out of sight is
Let's go.
debatable because I'm going to tap my patch for X-ray and see what I can see of the path that they're heading down.
Okay, you see them walking down a passage. At a certain point, though, enough stuff is in the way that you would lose sight of them because you are limited by the thickness of what's there. So you get an obstacle.
Orin, while Finian is looking with his spectacles,
Cole.
Orin is saying not all four of us need to go. So otherwise, go follow them. Yes, good idea.
Okay. I go after them.
Make a stealth check, otherwise.
That is a thing I can do. The check, not the stealth. 18.
Hey,
Yeah, you seem as we established, Eliwise is dressed for Vale. Her kind of gothy outfit really fits in here. And so no
I
one
love
seems
it
to take
here.
much notice.
When I was a young
And
boy.
you are able to follow them down into towards a little parlor where they close the door.
Rude. Can I listen at the door?
Sure, make a perception check.
$18.
Sure.
Let's go.
So through the door, you hear the voices slightly muffled, but what you catch is... All right, so I'll have the carts there about midnight. We'll take on the cargo. I'll take it to where it needs to go. Yeah, that sounds about right. It'll all look perfectly up and up. Right. Let's stop saying things like that that imply that it isn't. Oh, yeah. Got it. Why are you touching the side of your nose? I just, Right. All right. And you hear footsteps coming towards you.
I head back towards down the hall.
Okay.
Or if is there anything to hide behind? It's a hallway, so.
I mean, there's like
suits of armor
pressed up against the wall.
As I say, there's small furniture, but not great cover.
Let's define small, though,
Okay.
remembering it's out.
Like, the kind of like you'll see something like a little console table with some flowers on it, that kind of thing.
Puts the vase on her head.
Under the table.
I just love the chaos of Ellie. Anything's possible.
She's aware of what would hide her and what wouldn't. She will head back down the hall.
Okay. All right. You hear the door open and close behind you, and the dwarf comes out of the passage a little bit after Ellie, and crosses to the door and goes out.
But just to put this aside in my pocket for later, would you agree that I did listen to them for more than 1 minute?
Yep.
Okay. Awesome.
I really want to know what's in
just
that
litigation. It's just all litigation. Would we agree? Would you say that?
Let the records show that the GM has responded in the affirmative.
Could the lore master read that back for me, please? The last
Does your
20
wife want to be
seconds?
the stenographer for our sessions? Can we read that back real quick?
Oh man, that's funny. Yeah. So dwarf leaves. A few minutes later, the trio reappear out of the passage and cross to the door and leave.
What did we learn?
They are meeting at midnight to drop off the cargo. It is definitely not on the up and up.
Oh.
They said that?
Well, they said it'll look like it's up on the up and up, which means that it's not, and they hope it appears that way.
So we need to just be ready to pounce it. Well, so what do we want to accomplish, I guess is the question. Because we are sent here to investigate why they're coming to Vale. Obviously, now we know it's to get illicit goods of some kind.
We've got to know what they are, right?
I mean, I'm sure that wouldn't be a bad thing to know. I don't know if we need to disrupt the exchange, though. Like, Finian, with your special glasses, could you see what's in the crates, potentially?
There's a good chance.
Or would you just be able to see that it's something in the crates? Like, how much detail can you get with those things?
I've the ability to see what's inside. If there's a defined shape, I shouldn't have any problem being able to detect what it is. Specifically, if it's magical, there's magic around it.
Okay.
And you've no frame, Ellie, to reference what it is that they're here for. We've nothing
They will be
other
traveling
than
on
not
carts.
Carts.
They are delivering the carts to where they need to go at midnight, is what they said.
Phil, what's the population of Vale? Like, how many people are we talking being at this settlement?
Living or otherwise?
Vale probably has about 700 inhabitants.
Okay. The alternative would be to potentially undermine the exchange. We could see if we could track down where this dwarf went to. and maybe try to interject ourselves into a deal to be the ones to get the crates, instead of
If it
Riptide.
matters, I can imitate his voice.
Oh, that is interesting.
For the record, important point. The crates are going from Riptide to the dwarf.
Gotcha. Could not tell who was who.
Right.
Sorry about that.
So, well then, never mind on that course of action. Why are they dropping something off? What could Riptide have? What is there a check I can make to know what Riptide could possibly have to offer Vale?
Sure. You could make a history check.
That is going to be a 16.
16. The reputation of the Ashfords is as information brokers. They deal in information and secrets quite a lot, in addition to their legitimate mercantile operations. So the idea of the Ashfords involved in some sort of shady dealing is not strange to you.
But would it be odd that it's like a physical thing as opposed to information?
With a 16, that might strike you as somewhat strange. Although information can have physical accoutrement, evidence, and that sort of thing.
Yeah. And it was crates, plural, right, Ellywise?
Carts.
Carts. Oh.
I mean, so
Interesting.
the two options are to look at them before they leave the boat or after drop off, right? If we want to know what's in them.
That's true. We could try to sneak on board the boat. How hard would that be, Finian?
It wouldn't be the hardest if we were to work at it soon. I only saw, correct me if I'm wrong here, Philip, I only saw the one guard walking along the top.
You saw 4 guards.
I saw
You saw
only
there
the
were
guards
4
atop.
armed guards on the deck.
And I saw none when I was x-raying into the boat.
That is correct. You didn't see any people inside the boat.
I saw 4 atop the boat. I didn't get to see the entirety of the inside all the way through and through, but I didn't see anyone aboard the ship below deck proper like.
Were there any... Philip, maybe I already know this. Are there windows that are accessible below the deck?
Not usually.
Okay.
Usually any portholes or windows of any kind are going to be well above the water line.
Oh yeah.
But there isn't space between the water line and the deck?
There are, but you don't usually have windows like along the side. Sometimes a captain's cabin or something will have windows in it. That would be most often towards the rear of the ship,
Which I did not get to see because it had the back end was far too far out of my sight of vision or x-ray.
Philip, can you give me a sense of the dimensions of the deck of the ship where these 4 guards are walking about, like how wide and long it is? Would you say that the ship is less than...
On this day, would you declare?
Let me just ask the question that I'm asking, Philip. I have the spell Sleep that I can get creatures within 20 feet of a point that I choose. Is there a spot on the deck that if I wanted to try to knock the 4 guards out as they're patrolling, that would be doable?
If you timed it right, probably.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I could knock all of the patrolling guards out, and then we could just
You mean
walk aboard.
like
With magic, they would go to sleep.
Okay, glad for that
That sounds
clarification going
great.
into things.
They'd be down for 1 minute, so it would be long enough for us to run on, look, and then get gone. If all of them, yes.
I could make something appear that might be a distraction that could pull their attention, if that would be helpful at all.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that would get them in the same place.
Yeah.
This has the makings of quite possibly the most slapdash of plans I've ever heard, and I am so down for it.
Oh, okay, good.
That's not where I thought you were going to go.
I know, but there's
Yeah.
something about this. I'm here for it.
It may be wise, however, to wait a bit until the sun goes down. We will have quite a bit of a window between the fall of darkness and midnight, as to not draw too terribly much attention.
Looking around, did the three that Ellie followed, they leave the pub?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Right. The issue we're having, though, is I don't believe that the longer we wait, the fewer people will be on the boat. We've lost track of 3 people since they left here. And if they're unloading, they'll be taking their fellas back to the ship anytime. So,
There were tree people? I didn't see any tree people.
He has a hard time with his THs.
Oh, okay.
and with a slight chuckle, the rest of the ale goes all the way down.
Okay, well,
anybody
I
have
don't
anything
understand what happened, but okay, we'll move on.
Does anybody have anything that would allow them to be invisible? Or a snake?
I could be a snake, and
Very
I can
specific
swim as a
request out of you.
snake.
You could swim as a snake.
Oh, that's so cool.
For the record,
So-
grammatically, what I heard was, does anyone have anything that would make them invisible, or does anyone have a snake?
Ta-da! As it pulls it out of his shirt.
But thankfully, with the help of context, everyone understood what I meant.
I
Now available
was
on
just expecting
Spotify
someone
with audio
to pull
only.
out a snake.
Yeah, I was wondering why I had it in my tinkerer's tools.
Okay, Philip, I have a question related to my background and the elements that I got as related to my background. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so I picked the ardent background because part of my backstory was that, like, before I got shipped out to the principalities, I got stuck in an early training program at the Citadel, and so I was an ardent for that, not a religious institution.
Sure.
But part of the equipment that I get is a holy symbol,
Mm-hmm.
which obviously doesn't make sense. So could I have some kind of like identification
You
of
want
the
a badge.
Citadel?
You want to say
Yeah.
you have a badge? Yes, you can say you have a badge.
I could also lie and just do an inspection on the ship. Or try to lie. I've been
Are
known
you
to
good
lie.
at lying?
Not to you, I promise. I, based on my track record, I am decent. I'm better at like being truthful and charming, but I can lie in a pinch.
Finian is looking around at the other two, surprised that they are not confused at the turn of phrase "in a pinch." Learning
I'm
what they...
still stuck on the tree, people.
Right, so you're saying an inspection for you to walk around, that would leave you solo on this, right? As opposed to knocking them out and us trying to scurry about like observant rats.
I mean, it's plan A, plan B. Like something goes awry, and then I can knock them out, and you all could be ready. I just trying to think of options, because if I do the inspection now, before darkness falls, or before we try anything else. I will not only... I can't imagine that they just have whatever the secretive thing they're dropping off here out and will freely offer that up for an inspection. So I will know where to not look if I get a lay of the land.
All right.
So it's like a part 1, part 2.
Yes.
You would figure out where they might be holding it, and then that would allow us to do the like run and look and run out.
Yes. Additionally, possibly, Finian, you could
Boy.
be my accomplice in this with your spectacles and be looking about while we're down there.
You think I could get on there with you?
I could just say that you are a hired muscle. Just, inspecting is a dangerous job.
Works for me.
It's just something to try.
I
And you two could be, if you all have another thread that you want to pull on, or if you just want to be standing by in case things go awry.
Distraction. I think that's a good idea. If it goes wrong, we are there to help with a distraction and get away.
Mhm.
I don't want to speak for you, Sahina, but
No,
I think
absolutely.
awesome.
Okay.
so now then, or
Orin reaches in his bag to make sure he has it. Yes, I have it. Okay.
All right.
Orin flattens his officer's coat and goes to walk out.
So you all head out of the pub.
Finian talked to the... Finian, did you talk to the guards
I
while you were out
did.
there on the walk?
I did.
Okay. Eric realizes just before we leave the tavern. Wait, so they know who you are?
Right. They do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then pat your chest. Maybe not. Because that might... Yes.
That's good thinking right there.
Okay. Then
Yeah.
just stand by.
All right. So Orin walks
Is that your
down
shuffle?
the pier,
You penguin waddle down the pier.
up
Okay.
to the gangplank. You can see that the trio from the pub have also returned to the ship.
Okay.
And as you step up to the gangplank, one of the guards observes you and comes over. Can I help you?
Hello, gentlemen. I am actually here just on a standard and holds up the Citadel badge. Random inspection, just out and about, and just doing my job. So if you could give me a once about the ship, I'd appreciate it.
Inspection by who?
Citadel business.
We're not in Breland.
Yes, but Breelish interest extends across the continent, as it were. If it's a problem, I can take it up with the chain, but be simpler just to do the inspection, I would think. Unless you have something to hide. And Orin smiles.
Make a deception check. This is hard because you're pretending to be a cop from the wrong country in a country that has no cops.
Mm-hmm. That is a 16.
Okay. He calls over Armand, and one of the guys from the pub walks over. Swaggers over in his
Of course.
fancy gear and big hat with a logged feather, and says, Brailish Citadel, is it?
Now, post-war, yes. And Orin chuckles.
Cocks his head. It's about So, what is a Breelish Citadel Inspector doing in Vale?
We get sent out on assignment. In other nations, we have agreements through the Treaty of Throathold and other treaties, as it were, to be able to protect Breelish interest and potential threats. And so I was sent here to Vale to do some inspections.
The Prince of Vale is on board with this?
Yes. Yes, I spoke with Callus upon my arrival.
This is nerve-wracking.
I know.
His eyes narrow a bit. Well, I'd think if Lord Callus was yielding his sovereignty to Brayland, he'd send one of his men around with you.
It's not yielding sovereignty, and also I'm not here to inspect Callus.
You got a problem with Lady Ashford?
No. We have concerns that there's activity going on in Vale that is of concern to the Breelish Crown, and so I am here with the blessing of Lord Callus to make sure. Obviously, Breland and Karnak did not get on during the war that much, and obviously enemies make enemy of my enemy and all that. So, Callus is agreeable to Breelish interests for potential.
How do I know you ain't just saying that?
Because it seems like a very big stretch. Why would I? If I were to try to get on, if I were to try to get on your ship, why would I pick such an absurd lie to tell? And there's so many other ways that I could go about this.
I'm going to give you a point of luck for that argument because that made me smile.
Thank you.
He does not seem to be buying this. He doesn't necessarily seem to be like suddenly alarmed, but he doesn't seem to be buying the notion that you have Callus's backing for this.
Orin kind of rolls his eyes, says, "Very well," and pulls out a notebook. I will acquiesce, but will you at least give me your name so that I can go report to Callus and maybe we can come up to some kind of agreement? Just so I know who I spoke to.
My name's Armand.
And you said Lady Ashford? Who is she?
A remarkably ill-informed spy.
I'm not a spy, I'm an inspector.
Head of the Riptide Principality.
Oh. Noted. And how long do you all intend to be here in Vale?
As we told the Dockmaster, we'll be moving on later. We'll be moving on by tomorrow.
And I better be quick about it if I want to get an inspection in. All right, Armand. Apologies for the trouble, and perhaps I'll be seeing you. I'm going to go speak to Lord Callus now, and we'll see what he wants next steps to be. But thank you for your time.
You do that.
And I mean, you said that this is built around a keep that Callus put up when he got to the Principality. So is it clear what direction to walk for it to seem like
Orin
is?
The keep is visible from anywhere in the town.
So Orin puts his notebook under his arm and begins walking with purpose in the direction of the keep.
We'll wait
I'm
a
guessing
minute here
it's
and then
Not in the
follow
same
after.
direction as the tavern.
I don't believe that went the way he's hoping it would.
He did not get on the boat.
I got on the boat. I just didn't get
After-
in the boat.
After a beat of him having passed, Finian will make a gesture and start heading in that direction, casually walking, not with the purpose and pointed direction that Orin had.
All right.
Are you stopping at a spot
Yeah,
outside?
once I'm out of sight of the dock, yeah, I'll stop and
Okay.
yeah, just wait. Eliwise, Sahina, were you with Finian? Were you also watching?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
And how'd that go for you?
Well, not well. I know they're leaving by tomorrow, so tonight is the night. And his name's Armand. That's what I've got. So
Right. Well,
did not say it was a good plan. Said it was a plan.
we've moved quite a ways along here.
We're
Is
figuring
it-
out how
is
this
it-
works.
Yeah, is it time to do the distraction then?
We now have 7 people on the boat, though. So, what distraction are we thinking?
Well, I was thinking I'd make some kind of dancing. Frankly, I've got the tree people in my head now, so I was thinking I would make this
All right.
waving tree person that would get their attention, and
It's not a
everybody
type
would-
of person, it's a quantity of people. You've 1, you've 2, you've 3. That's how many people there were. There were 3
I-
people, is what I was saying.
so I think I can only make one tree person. I'm only able to make one of them.
I should have
If that
gotten
would be
another
enough.
drink while I was in there. That's what
I feel like a
should
tree
have.
It's a really
person,
good
just the
tavern.
one would be distracting.
I think
Clearly,
so.
it's distracting in this very moment to us right now.
Okay, so an option would be Sahina creates the tree person to distract. Eliwise becomes a snake in the commotion, slithers into the ship, and then maybe
Tries
you
to
have free-
convince them to eat the fruit from the tree.
And then you could potentially have free reign to poke about in there. You'd be isolated, but I just don't know how all of us would be able to get on board the ship as we appear with the tree person. It might seem like we are allies of the tree person attacking.
I thought she was going to do the tree person, and then you were going to make them fall asleep, and then we were going to all go.
Now that there is nearly double the amount, I'm less confident in my ability to get all of them knocked out. It's I do not know how you could describe the
can't
sleep
think how to
spell
express
in the universe.
There's no good way.
It's based on the collective constitution of the
It's a
individuals
volume
present.
sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like it
Yeah.
fills up.
Yeah, basically I roll
I don't
8d8
understand.
and have a certain number of hit points that I can knock out. And so 4 guards, I was pretty confident that I could roll high enough. 4 guards and 3 named people, less confident.
Mhm.
Yeah. Basically, it starts by knocking out the lowest number of
Names
hit
are
points, and
powerful.
then proceeds until, yeah, it's true.
All right, so we're going to try a woodland person and a sneaky snake is the play we're going with right now.
I can try to make them go to sleep also if we just
I
want to
don't
throw
hate
everything
it.
at the wall.
That's
Also, as a snake, Eliwise, can you bite? Like, do you have, or is it just?
can't.
Like
I can
you look
bite,
like a snake.
and oh no, I can bite, and I'm very good at coiling around them and killing them.
Oh, I like the coil.
It's a constrictor. Yeah, I'm a big snake.
Oh, you're a big snake.
oh
Can you be a small snake?
This is these TTRPGs are so weird. What a sentence.
Well, so what if I make my tree person and
Just
you have
envision
the
this conversation
distraction.
happening on a city street, and people are walking by. It's like, "Hi, nice to see you."
So the
And-
plan
Well, a big
is to
snake is
sneak an
still a snake.
anaconda onto the ship.
Well, if Oren can try, listen. If Oren tries to get them all to sleep and it doesn't work, then maybe Wise can come in and constrict a couple of them, and then Finian uses his glasses and figures stuff
Well,
out.
if we get into a fight on the ship, I'm concerned that that's going to draw a lot of attention, which is why I was hoping that Wise as a snake could just get below the deck unnoticed.
I mean, I think I could still do it. Snakes can slither along edges,
It's true. You can go,
but
up
it
vertical edges.
is bigger than a small snake.
Oh, I really want to see this.
Okay, so the plan,
That's
using a generous term.
Right.
I don't know how stealthy I am as a snake. That's-
Sahaina's going to create a tree
I feel like
person.
Philip does.
I am going to attempt to
my dex
cause
modifier.
all of them to go to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Wise is going to become a snake and try to sneak past all of them.
Mm-hmm.
Finian, what are you going to do?
Wonder how exactly it is I got myself here today. And
There's
I've
time
I
for
know.
that
We're
later.
so lucky.
a decent amount of
Right?
time in the near future doing that over and over and over, I fear.
Okay, we get it. You're not happy about it.
I've lost a little of my bluster from the bar before. But I've
Drink more.
maybe that's what I'll be doing. You tell me how it goes.
A constrictor snake has a dexterity
goody.
modifier of +2, so your stealth would be +2.
Unless you're proficient, then it would be.
That's true. If you're proficient in stealth, then it would be +4.
It's based on my proficiencies.
Your proficiencies would still be in play, yes.
That's
Just your
unfortunate.
physical stats change.
I am more stealthy as a snake than not.
So, question.
Odd
then.
fact
now,
of you.
now that Armand and his friends have gotten back on the ship, do we think that's... Do we need to be concerned about more people getting on the ship?
I believe so.
Okay.
That's the concern I was headed for in the pub. Is it feels to me, as much as I'm excited about seeing you turn a forest dwelling plant into a distraction and having a serpent sneak aboard a ship, I fear that we may have passed the window where that was a possibility, and maybe it's following after the unloading is our best strategy here.
Oh, I was just going to say we could wait until dark to execute tree plan, but if we'd rather wait until the unloading has happened.
We're doubling down on the tree plan, right?
My concern with that, though, is if something goes awry, if we're caught, let's say, worst case scenario, we're caught. This can just be chalked up to, oh God, names escape me. Our prince,
Durga.
Durga's people rivaling with Ashford's people, and we got into a tussle in the docks of Vale. Oh well. Whereas if we wait until the unloading, and then we're caught, now we've made an enemy of Vale, which is less desirable, if that makes sense, politically speaking. That would be my only concern. I'm not saying that waiting until the unloading is...
I hear that as a valid concern. I don't think it changes our ability to argue that we were we were acting on Leshderga's behalf, not against Vale, still just against the second half of their plan. But I hear you.
Do you want to take it to a vote?
No, it's Tree. For it.
Oh.
Tree.
Yay!
Oh,
Are
is
for
it?
It's Tree. Are you not for
It's
it?
very confusing when we're talking about a tree plan and you pronounce the number 3 that way.
I need you to recognize that I don't think this is the
Number
last time
3.
that we're going to. Oh my lord.
Well, why didn't you say that?
To be
I
fair, you did not
literally-
continue. If you would have continued to the number 4, I feel like that would have provided the context necessary. But you just went 1, 2, 3, so you didn't envelop it in context.
I should
I
have been
am
a farmer.
very
That's it.
interested in seeing the tree person. That sounds awesome. But if we are
Philip,
caught on the
Sorry,
boat,
real quick. Before we continue saying anything further, I would like to make a perception check to make sure that I was not followed after I made a butt of myself on board that ship.
Sure.
It has been
Hey,
Hey, that's a good
23.
idea.
minutes. You could have been followed and have them turn around now.
Okay,
Orin
23.
realizes as we're laying our plan out, like, oh no.
in the middle of the street.
Worst
With a 23,
pirate.
you observe that the sun has gone down.
All the way?
Yeah, it's gotten
God.
dark. It wasn't early when you got here.
It is now 11:45.
I wonder what that card is.
Just that SpongeBob meme. 3 hours later.
There's a series of cards headed down
What
the
I
dock.
was saying was the number.
Is that your impression of my impression?
I love it.
It's going to be the longest campaign ever for me.
So, the sun has gone down. You do not see anyone observing you.
Very well. Well, the good
Super
news is I
convincing
don't
that
think
nobody's there.
anybody's watching us.
What was Ellywise saying?
Yes,
Yes.
continue.
If we are caught on the boat, it is much harder to explain away our presence there than if we are caught outside. If we are following them, doesn't it feel like there are more options to get away or be unnoticed than in the confined space of the boat?
Until we arrive at their destination and then need to inspect the goods inside the carts.
But that's what Finian's eyes are for. Glasses,
Right.
lenses. What do we call them? Goggles?
Spectacles.
It's
Spectacles?
a patch, lass, is what it is.
Spectacles.
Patch lass?
Patch.
Okay.
I said spectacle earlier. I don't know.
What were you saying?
They're yours, so you get to choose.
Gray streak starts to appear in his ponytail.
No, he said it's a patch lass. We got it. It's a patch lass.
Finian's gonna cut his own tongue out. It's gonna be the way this goes forward.
Right, that escalated.
Right,
might
we're
as well
going
just
the
get
dark
there.
pirate route.
So we lay low until the exchange happens. Then we let Finian look and see what's in the carts. Yes?
Well, I mean, when you say it like that, we could just wait until they put it in the cart and move it, and Finian could look at it.
What did I say?
I think that is what he said. I think he said it exactly like that.
This sounds
Well,
more
I thought he
simpler.
said wait until we get to the thing, to the location. But
No, wait
right,
until
we
they
wouldn't
get
even
on
have
the
to wait
cart.
for a
No,
location.
I was just saying wait until the exchange happens, yes. Okay, well then,
Right.
let's go wait until midnight at the Hanged Man, I guess.
Why the heck were we talking about getting on the boat then?
try and stop the exchange potentially.
Okay.
So you return to the Hanged Man. Welcome back.
Thank you. What's your name?
I'm the Hanged Man.
Well,
Oh, I thought that was the
sure
name
you
of the
haven't
boss.
always been the Hanged Man.
As long as I can remember.
Huh.
You're going to
Fair
give
enough.
the mascot an existential crisis. Oh, God, I had a family once. I meant something to people.
So you go back in and presumably sit and eat and drink until midnight.
More eating, less drinking.
Fair enough. And then what?
Observe. Are we?
I-
Can we see the carts? Are they going to? Are these carts coming off?
Are you still in the bar?
No. As it
There we go.
approaches midnight, no.
Right. Okay. So as it approaches midnight, we leave and go. Like, what are we doing?
We
Is there
are
an
looking at
inauspicious spot
Ellywise.
to loiter.
Right.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Right. Looking for that, like 11:30. Looking for a spot that we can view the boat and the dock from.
Yeah, like a
without
cute
being-
little hip coffee shop that serves drinks out of mason jars.
Uh-huh.
Kind of a thing.
with the
Um,
patio. Yeah.
Yes. yeah.
Excellent.
A chimenea
Okay.
out front.
Let me have.
What's the name of the
from
coffee
group
shop, Philip?
A stealth check.
21. No, 20.
Can it be a snake?
Dirty 20.
You can be a snake.
Right.
Dirty 20. What was Orion's?
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Sahina?
8.
And Ellywise?
Sahina looks
12?
like a tree person.
12. Okay. So sure, there's a coffee shop. It's called Exhumed. And you are sitting out at a little bistro table. What you see is a cart comes rolling down the misty streets of Vale and stops at the near end of the pier. You can see the dwarf from before is sitting in the cart, and that the cart is being hauled by a few by 4 skeletons. The dwarf climbs down, and you can see sailors from the Whisper coming down the gangplank, carrying a few modest-sized crates, which they put in the back of the cart, and the dwarf passes them a small envelope, and then climbs back on the cart. And the skeletons begin to wheel it back around and head down a different street from the one that they were coming,
Which does not go past us, obviously.
which does not come past you.
Are we able to see with any kind of anticipation that it won't be coming back so that
Yeah.
I can begin walking up to try to cross, not in front of it, but close enough behind it to be able to get a look?
Sure.
I do.
Okay. So you walk past the cart as it's rolling down a street, and are looking at the crates.
Yes, they're wood crates.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then we are going to X-ray.
You see in each of the crates there are racks holding stoppered vials that seem to each contain some sort of powder.
Okay. And as I'm passing behind, give a quick little rub to my temple to tap the patch and detect magic.
There's a magical aura that seems to be coming from within the crates.
Okay. Did the group join, or is the group still on the patio?
So Hina would
Oh,
hang
I'm-
back because of her crappy stealth check, I think.
Because she's a tree person.
Right.
Orin would have been inclined to go with Finian.
So would Ellie Wise.
All right.
I will.
Is there a lot of people out and about at midnight in this city, Philip?
There are a lot. There are a number of people out and about, depending on your definition, and whether
Of
you can include
people?
undead.
Yeah. Okay.
Vale's undead population is out more in the night than its living population.
I would pass that information along to the two that are with me, looking as though we're having casual post-dinner conversation as to what I saw inside the crates.
Ooh.
Well, do we continue following? My putting things to bed spell does not affect undead creatures, so...
Is there only... Who is with the cart, Philip?
There's the dwarf and 4 skeletons.
Right. So, there's nothing we can do
knock
there.
out the dwarf, but the skeletons would still be
I
standing.
mean,
Do we
we
need
could fight
to?
them.
Do we need to, is the question. Or have we gathered enough information?
Magical powder in vials. Been dropped off. I've a low threshold for what's enough information, and I feel like this is well below it.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like an impressive amount of information to give our prince that just gave us a boat.
So then do I put the dwarf to sleep as soon as we're out of sight of everything else and then deal with the skeletons?
These crates, what size were they? Was it each was being carried by one of the sailors? Are they
Yes.
multiple people to carry?
No, one person carrying each crate.
Okay. And the skeletons around the cart, can you tell me the formation around it?
It's like an ox cart, and two skeletons is holding each bar of the ox cart.
Philip,
Are
is
we
there
following?
any way... I think
Yes.
so for now.
Okay. So,
Is there... Oh, go ahead.
as you pursue the cart down the misty alleys of Vale, we will leave this episode there and pick up next time.
Fair.
Thank you all so much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed this episode of Blades and Banners. If you want to get in touch with us, you can find links to all of the wonderful things that this cast does down in the description below, as well as links to our merch store and our Discord and all of those places. New episodes of Blades and Banners come out on Monday, and our Q&A show, The Ship's Log, will start coming out on Fridays. Sorry, not Saturdays. Fridays. On our YouTube channel. And until next time, thanks for rolling with us.